here dancing and eating an orange.
No.
Hello, this is Kiki's chat show. Today, Wednesday, 14th of March. Enjoy the music a little bit. What's this song called? Which one is that one? What number is that? It has numbers on it. No? Then I'll put all of them up.
Okay.
Welcome to Kiki's chat show today. We're talking with, I have a guest on my show. This guest is very important to me. She's very important in one of my careers, and she is, I'm even shy of her, even though I'm older. And today, I am not interviewing her, but she's just keeping me company on the show,
Yes.
and we're gonna have fun. We're going to talk about, what do your adult kids hate? Why do your adult kids hate the idea that a single mother or a single parent, single father, starts to fall in love again and sits them down and tells them? And we're going to talk about it. You can call. I'm not going to, lock the lines up or anything. So call when you feel like you have something to say. But we're going to talk about it, and you can pick up ideas from us, or you can share ideas with us, because we want to know. I know it happens. One of the things about this show is I talk about things that people ask me to talk about. Most times people are shy, and so they say, can you talk about this or that or the other? Can you talk about, I'm having this problem and I want to know what other people think. So yeah, I come and talk about it, but then I kind of have a chat. I know what they're thinking, and then we come on air. But it's good to know what other people think and, the different sides of it. So, before starting, I'm going to introduce Henrietta onto the show. Henrietta is a very strong, dynamic woman. We're not discussing her, but she's going to introduce herself to you.
Hi. Good evening to Kiki's chat show listeners.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here with Kiki. We are just going to have fun.
Yo.
My name is Henrietta, and I work in the television industry in Ghana, and I've been doing that for almost 16 years now.
Wow.
Yes. And hopefully you'll be having more of me on this show, the GNTV and other things here in the UK. So
Henrietta wakes up. She's here at 4 a.m. at the studio. She then is a producer director dealing with the television side. And she'll be speaking into people's ears and saying, move closer to the mic. Don't do this, don't do that. Lift your head up. So today she's on my show, and I am calling the shots.
Yes.
Henrietta, move towards the mic. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, today we're talking about what you do when your adult kids hate that you're in love again. Now, it is becoming a thing at the moment because we're in the time of a lot of people are divorced. Divorce is very high at the moment, especially in the UK. And even in Ghana, where people are afraid to divorce because of stigmatization, etc., etc., bold women are making the step, and if they're uncomfortable, they leave the marriage. Now, where parents, older parents would say, go back and marry him and be a good girl, etc., parents are now saying, hey, my daughter, if you are tired, come home, leave him, you know, you went to school, you can look after yourself, etc., which is very progressive in our society, isn't it, Henrietta?
Well, to an extent, we can say yes.
Yeah.
It is very progressive. Being a Christian and coming from the biblical perspective, where the Bible ordains marriage, it's a sacred institution to be in. And I will always say that it helps and it's great to find the right person to do the right thing with. You need to be on the same page with that person. But it also does not mean that we all find the right people to spend the rest of our lives with.
Indeed.
Human beings, we are subject to change,
Growth.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things influence our decisions at any given point in time. So we can't be static, and a relationship with another human being is a lot of work
And very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
You come from different backgrounds,
Exactly.
and so you've come together, and if each is not prepared to learn from the other and grow with the person, it never works.
It never works.
Never.
Never.
And so
it's a lot of compromising, and I think we have a saying that two wise people can't live in the same space. One person always has to play the fool. But well, if the worst happens to a union, which is not everybody's expectations, if it happens, which it's happening, it's part of our human existence. We are happy for those who remain married, happily married. Marriages are working. It's worth going into marriage and working hard to keep it going.
yes.
But we can't ignore the fact that divorce is on the high side.
It is.
And if we happen to find ourselves in that situation, I am a strong go-getter. I look at life from a very positive side, no matter what's going on. I will say that if the unfortunate happens, it's part of life. It should not be the end of life for one person. You never know until it happens to you. And we as human beings, we are quick to judge, say all manner of things, but until you are in somebody's situation, you never know what they're going through. So if the worst happens, we still need to look at the brighter side of the worst situation, no matter what happens. So yes, it's here. It's part of our lives. As we are discussing this topic, I'm sure we have couples who are on the verge of divorce. Couples who are struggling through a certain relationship, couples who have just divorced, some people who have been divorced for years, and some people who are going through exactly what we are going to talk about this evening, which is been divorced for years. You have children, maybe you've committed your life to your children for a long time, and then you finally come to a point where you feel like, I don't want to be alone anymore. I need somebody to share my life with, maybe because you think that your children are adults enough to now accept and live with, accept you sharing your life and then with another person. Then you are hit with the surprise of, mommy, you can't do this, daddy, you can't do that.
Well, Henrietta has propelled us straight into the topic, which that is what we want to do. We want to talk about the situation where you've looked after your kids, you've been very divorced, your kids, you've grown them, they're happy, they're rounded, they've got good jobs, and majority are out of the house.
Yeah.
And I've got this story about the person who told me this. She is 53, and her son, one of her children is 33 and the other one's 36. Now, they've gone through things and they've come out of the other side. They've gone to university. They have, they've got jobs. The older one is actually he's engaged a girl to marry. And it is the second one. She was hiding. It wasn't that she was hiding, but she had her own relationship. She doesn't see them. She only sees them at weekends. They come round. The second one comes around more than the first one.
Yeah.
And so she runs her thing after work. She may have dinner with the gentleman. She's been going out with him for 3 solid years. So one day she sits them down and she says to them that, you are out of the house. I'm mostly on my own, but I've got company. Uncle, they know the guy. So, and her son, the younger one, the 33-year-old, hates him with a passion. He hates him so much that when he sees the guy sometimes, he doesn't say anything. But when they are eating or sitting at table, they go to a restaurant or something, while they are eating, her son will hiss at the guy. Like he goes, he hisses like, and he makes these noises. So her fiance, this guy, he said to her, he said, he wanted them to get married and blah, 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 blah. But he had a problem with the son, because
this is not funny stuff.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It is not funny, and this is quite serious. However, the situation was I was surprised. Now, there are many ways of looking at this. I feel that as a parent, as your children grow, they become your friends. You're not doing this mother-son thing anymore. You're friends, you kind of communicate. Your children should know that you are capable of being in a relationship. 53 is not that old.
Yeah.
And, your son is 33. Now, how a 33-year-old will be hissing and growling at your partner is totally out of control. To me, I think she has to have a stiff chat with him. Now, if they were younger, I would have issue with it, because I think you have to protect them.
Yeah.
Protect your children, etc. And all sorts of things happen when there is a second person in the home. Now, this is not a situation where you need a stepfather to come and be wicked to your children. No, you're on your own and you've got a gentleman, who you're spending time with, and you want to make it legal. There is the other aspect as well, which I thought of, although I didn't say it. But if you have been with your mother, whether it's girls or boys or whatever, and you're with your mother and you have seen your mother being domestically attacked, beaten, abused, etc., and then she moved away from that situation and life became bliss and beautiful, and then suddenly, she can have a boyfriend, there's no problem. But if the word marriage comes in, you start thinking, oh my God, this is going to happen again. Because even you may love your father, but he still beats your mother, So once he doesn't have much control, you don't expect him to do things. But marriage then gives it a whole new ball. Yeah. So I thought about that as well. I didn't say it, but I'm saying it now. what do we do about that? Something, you know, a situation like this, do you then say, maybe it's because your husband, you know, this is an issue that hasn't been raised for years. Can I raise it? You know, can you say this? But I'm sure she's listening now, so maybe she can address it with herself and also address it with her children. Do you trust the man enough that if you marry him, nothing is going to happen to put your children back to that horrible time they went through? Maybe they just don't want to relive it anymore, you know, because I think she divorced him when they were 9 and 7 or something, you know. Yeah, and they've gone through life now, and everything is beautiful, and life is nice. She lives in a nice house, and everything is so lovely that they may not want to upset that apple cart. But I do know that women do get lonely, even with 10 million children around them. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you can. I'm just trying to deal with my screen. Yeah.
Well, this situation it's a bit something. I don't know how to even put it. 33 and 36. These are grown adults.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? Growing up, did they think that based on whatever their mother has been through, she was never going to get attached to another person?
Possibly. And you see, there's the other angle where people say, I will never get married, you know, and then you meet somebody who he ticks all the boxes. Yeah, and he's so lovely that you think, okay, I'll try it again. And then your children say, no, you can't.
No, well, they can say no, but they don't have the final say, because now that they are adults, they should know better. But then I think the conversation did not start with them early enough.
Yes, I think so.
It did not start with them early enough. Maybe long before she met this person, she could have given them a heads up that if I find somebody great in the future, I will consider it. If maybe she dropped hints of it while they were growing up or going through things, and then she kept saying it, not very often, but once in a while it comes up in a conversation with them, it would have better prepared their psyche, because I'm sure now it's a matter of insecurity, fear, and lack of trust for whoever the man is in their mother's life. So in as much as they are being very protective of their mother, I'm sure at her age and everything she's been through, she has equally learned, and she knows exactly what she wants. So it's a conversation situation which will not happen at one sitting.
It has to be several.
It has to be several times discussions, and then I think a lot of the work needs to be done by the man as well. The man in question here, he needs to endear himself to the woman's children, and not say, okay, not think that, okay, you have grown, you are grown, you are out of the house, so I am coming in now, and like it or not, I am here. Live with me.
I'm sure in situations he also has kids.
Well, yes, so he probably might be facing the same challenge with his kids as well. But in this situation, on the side of the woman, I think that she should just take time, talk to her children, tell them that, listen, I know exactly what I am doing. I know you love me and I love you. Nothing is going to change. Maybe now when you come around the house, I won't be alone anymore, but it won't change anything. I will listen to you. I will be there for you when you need me. But she should let them understand what it means to her, what she wants to do. why she wants to try marriage again. At least I believe
she's in love. Simple.
Well, yes, but she needs to let her children understand everything from her point of view. Reassure them that in as much as they are protective of her, she will be safe. She feels safe where she's going or with what she wants to do, and just take it slow with them, because she doesn't, I'm sure she's not ready to lose her children because she wants to get married again. And she doesn't want a situation whereby because I'm married now my children cannot come around the house and all of that. No, we don't want all of that. So the responsibility lies with her and how she handles it. She needs to do a lot of talking to them. Once the conversation didn't start early enough, it needs to start now. And then I'm sure they are adults, they are grown, so they will definitely, and they're 33 and 36, they are not kids. Even though maybe that has actually influenced their reason of not being married, even though one is engaged to be married.
36,
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe their mother's experiences also delay their process of trusting relationships
her
and stuff
getting
like
married
that.
frees them to do whatever, because
It should even be
responsible.
a source of reassuring them that, okay, if mommy wants to try it, give it a try, then definitely it's worth me trying as well. So I think that it's just a matter of talking them into it, and the man should also work hard at it. He is in the best position to win the children over so they can accept him.
So what if he thinks, oh, this is too much, the children don't like me, I might as well just cut
I'm
my
sure the
losses.
woman is worth fighting for, and this shouldn't be too much for him to do. It shouldn't be too much for him to do. Life doesn't come easy for anyone. And don't expect that people will just jump at it because it's you. No. I'm sure they did not expect their father and mother to end up in divorce. And everything they've had to go through wasn't planned. So even with this one, you never know. You can never tell tomorrow. So he also has his role to play. I believe that in this situation, he needs to do more of the work than
The man.
Yes,
he
the
should-
man needs to think that, okay, if it's a girl and a boy, let me take the boy as my friend, and actually ask him to give him permission to go out with his mother, and ask him that, okay, at this point I've been with your mom for the past. The conversation it should even start with the children first, even before it goes to the mom. They might have discussed it, but then he can talk to the children, make them understand that this is my intention towards your mom. What do you think? If it started from there,
it would have been easier.
It would have been easier, I believe. Yeah, I believe it would have been easier.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, though.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, because I read a little bit about it, and it says, children are allowed to have a hissy fit if they want.
Yeah.
However, there needs to be a kind of a friendship, and there needs to be a kind of an agreement that we are doing something and it's for the whole family. He also, if he has children, has to introduce them so that they are kind of blended and they get on.
I can even pinpoint Jennifer Lopez's current relationship with her current boyfriend.
Okay.
Last Christmas, you can tell they took a picture because her boyfriend now has children. She also has a kid. They came together.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and took a Christmas picture. They were all dressed in the same pajamas, and it was really beautiful. That tells you that as young as the children are,
they've understood.
They have understood it.
And their brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And their mommy and daddy loves, my daddy loves your mommy.
Yes. So
yeah,
and even if you look at this man, what's his name? Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
His present wife had children, he had children, but they blend together so well you can't even tell that they are this the woman's children and this is the man's children.
It's the way me and Idris Elba are gonna blend and my children.
Please, he just proposed to
no, they to pass. She can even have two if she likes. I'm waiting for him. We're gonna blend my sons and his children.
So there are several examples of such situations. Yeah. So I'm sure that the man is the one. I believe that if it came from the man's perspective, he should try and draw the children closer, bring them around, make his intentions towards their mother clear to them, ask their blessing, and then he can go ahead, because that way you know that you have actually cleared every hurdle and things will work out fine.
We're going to play some music, and when we come back, we will carry on with this blended situation. I don't know, it's a tough one.
It is, but then, I mean, if you start with the children, if the man starts with the children, he'll win them over.
She said
it's the same as if she also wants his children, he should be nice to his children, draw them over, and then everything will work out fine.
The boy growls, he makes, they said they went to a restaurant, and the girl be looking at him as he's eating.
They've still not gotten there yet.
I'm like, what is that? She said, oh, yeah, I mean, you know. The other one, they just look at the guy suspiciously. And he's got a good job and he's, you know, there. And he treats the woman well and she's very excited.
But it's not all about the woman. She comes with children.
So he should, basically.
He should go through the children to the woman.
Got some ideas. Should we go back?
Yeah.
I'll only play music for 2 minutes. Hello, that was Love Vibes. That small bit of music there, it's called Love Vibes. It's Afrobeat instrumentals and it's really nice. It's just that we have only 1 hour, so I don't play the whole thing and I only play bits of it. Now, Henrietta was explaining to us that the man should really make friends, you know, the couple should make friends with the other's children and try and bond in with them, and that way there is a kind of a balance so that the children know each person, child is comfortable with their parents' partner, which it works. I have seen it work, but with some it takes a longer time, especially with the female's children. It takes a little bit of time, especially if they're boys, they are suspicious, they all sorts. So somebody was suggesting that you prioritize family time. No matter how old the children are, they can feel less important as they watch their mother's affection grow for an outsider. So it's like your 3 musketeers or whatever it is, or 4 musketeers, and then suddenly you've got this outsider coming into your home, and it looks, there are some people who are also quite mean to their partner's children, and I think the world has moved on now. And one advice that I personally give to people is, if you've been married before and you have kids and you suddenly decide that you want to do this again, you really should think carefully about where you put your children, whether young or old, your relationship with them, the understanding that you have with them, because they are your priority. They are very important. This is separate from the hissy fits and the disagreements that they're going to have because of the partner that you pick. But you yourself have to pick a person so carefully so that you don't repeat past issues. If you were in a violent relationship, you should be careful that you're not in another violent relationship. It's unacceptable, and it just puts, even if they're adult children, you are torturing them. It is a new torture all over again. So all of these things have to be thought about, and you have to make a point to spend time with them alone and talk to them alone, and then spend time with your new partner, so that slowly you are creating a new family unit. And you find activities where everyone enjoys and can always be inclusive and supportive to the kids. Nasa?
Yeah, sure. Everything you're saying is in place, because in as much as the relationship is going to mostly be between the two of you, the kids were there before the man.
Yeah.
And so were his kids before you. So no matter what, if they are not happy, you will not be happy in that relationship. No woman will be happy knowing very well that her children are not happy about the relationship in which she finds herself. So, and that will break the trust. It will bring insecurity and a lot of discomfort to both you and the children, and it will in the long run affect the relationship in which you find yourself. So the best thing, I believe, is you're divorced, you want to be in another relationship. It has already started, but no matter what, the children need to be involved, no matter what age.
No matter what. So if the children are 50.
Unless, of course, they don't want to be bothered.
Yes, but if they care,
they care, you have to do something about it. If they don't care, it's a different thing altogether. You can do whatever you want to do with your life. But where they care, you can never ever have peace if your children are not at peace with the relationship.
What if there is monetary issues, like, for example, the mother works and says, she's busy, she's worked hard, they've gone through hell, but suddenly she has more money than the person that she's bringing in, and that also brings problems. How do you think that this kind of thing? Because I've noticed that if it's a man and he is financially sound, even if he brings some waitress or somebody who has no money into the house, of course they're rude to her and all of that, but she still, she stays, they marry, he looks after everybody, so there's no problem. But if it is the woman and she is the one who has the money, they view the man in a different way, and it is a big thing. In fact, it is, apart from the children, it is extended family gets involved. How does one deal with that?
Well, in such situations, it's a bit dicey, because if it is the woman who is
the breadwinner,
I don't know how to talk about that, because nobody can trust that the man coming in is not coming because of what they want. Okay, maybe they are coming to get some of what. Yes.
Yeah, the man.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
he's
the
a
man.
gigolo.
Exactly. But if it's a situation whereby the man is the breadwinner, it's okay.
Yeah.
But that's why every man should learn not to stay in the couch, but get moving.
Yeah.
You should get something doing. Be busy. Keep yourself busy with something, no matter how small the income is. It's always better to be at something than to stay in the couch. It doesn't help.
It doesn't.
I know there are men who look to women who get into. Oh no, there are men like that. They look out for the rich, okay, good going woman, and that's their target because they know that okay, she got it all put together, and they can always go around and get what they want out of it. But you can't take anybody for granted. You need to get your ass out there and work your life away as a man. Just as a woman is able to work her life away, so should you be able to, so that in situations like we can avoid situations like this one. Because if the woman, no matter how she tries to convince her children and her family people, nobody will trust that that man is coming in, unless of course he's coming in as a help in the house. Even that.
He's coming in
that
as a help. What sort of help in the house?
I'm trying to find an excuse. Yes, Kiki, I'm trying to find an excuse
what kind of
for
help
him.
is he gonna do?
Yes, it's not possible. It is not possible.
It's just horrible.
When the table turns in that direction, it's really hard.
But then, okay, so look at the French president.
Unless, of course, the woman is able to boldly stand up for him. That
Macron, the French president, is married to this 60-something-year-old woman. She has children. She was married and she divorced her husband and then married him, her student or whatever he was. And they've been plain sailing, no problem there.
That is a rare kind of relationship.
But he became the president.
Bring that into our African setting, you and I know. It won't fly.
It never fly.
It will never fly, no matter what you try to say.
When I was young, there was this woman who I really admired. You see, I admire independent women, and she was so beautiful. And she lived down my road somewhere in Cantonments, that area. And she drove this beautiful car, and she had this younger, beautiful man. She was divorced, she had kids. I was in school with her kids. You know, we were in primary school, secondary school. And, you know, every time I saw this woman, she looked so... And I think it was because she was going out with this young man. I mean, he was younger, although, of course, he was, you know, maybe if she was 48, he was 38.
Oh.
But he had a job, though, and he was growing in as one grows in their life and everything else. And then eventually they got married, and it seemed so right. And
but
but everyone talked about her. You know, she was described as
and I will congratulate that young man
for keeping
to that relationship, because if it happened in Ghana, where we will come from, then that is 1 out of 1,000 of such relationships that will survive.
Yeah, and then people gossiped about him constantly, but you know, they stayed together all those years.
I'm sure that there was a lot of understanding
in the home,
trust, security in the relation. The man felt comfortable even though he was younger, and then the woman tried to keep up with the time.
She did,
and that gives the woman even an extra job to do, because if you want to stay with a younger man, you need to be abreast with time to be able to keep that relationship going.
She did. I
then
really
it's one her. Out of a kind.
Yeah.
You know that. Yes, it's not easy to come across relationships like that from where we come from.
Yeah, very, 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 very difficult. However, this is it. So, you know, people are saying, somebody emailed me and she said, you have to deal with this issue very carefully. And you have to start small. And as the relationship gets more serious, that the children have to see that it's about time that the parents get, you know, the couple get married, and it's about time this, and you have to deal with this before you make any other decision of maybe moving house or this is the most important thing, and the children have to. But I also think, I mean, if the woman has more money than the man, or she is the main bankroller of the whole group of them, the kids and the man and all of that, then she has to reassure them that they get everything and he's only coming for the ride.
Well, you can't say that to kids that you keep getting everything you get, and no, you can't put it that way. In such cases, most of the time, is a woman who needs to be firm. That, listen, I'm going for this. I need you to support me. It's not going to take away whatever I do for you.
This is to the children.
This is to the children. It won't take anything away from what we have. We are family. You're my children. You will always be here. And I will always be here for you. But this is my choice. I love you as much as this choice I have made. And I will need your support on this. But even then, the other party also needs to work hard at it.
I agree. I think it's a job for everybody.
Everybody involved,
brain needs to get in sync and accept that
because
you're moving into a new chapter.
Yes, and you never know. You can never predict tomorrow. So it's just an open conversation that needs to be had, if I should put it that way. You need to talk about it. You need to let everybody involved, especially when you know that this is getting to a stage where there is no turning back.
Yes,
this is
marriage
what we both have decided to do.
And also 53 means this is your last marriage, unless you're
you can never tell people.
Second of 5.
You can never tell. So that one, we can't sit here and say because you're 53 you're getting married and nothing can happen.
But you have to be extra sensitive to your children's feelings.
Yes.
And then you have to
you can't do it too many times, because if you do it too many times, it takes away no matter what you decide to do again, nobody will even care.
You can't do what too many times? Marriage. Elizabeth Taylor and all these people who marry. Yes, they're stars and everything, but still.
No, I'm just saying that where children are involved most of the time.
One thing I wanted to ask when this thing, she was talking about it, and I know she was divorced and all of that. But the one thing what if it was a widow, and it is, dad is dead. He's not there. He's not on the scene anymore. We've accepted. And we move on. 10 years now or 15 years down the line, mother decides, I've given you my life. I've done everything. I am very happy that you are all well. Now I need to move on. Will children have that same hissy fit? Do you think?
I believe the situation wouldn't be. Yeah, it's universal, because children don't change, do they?
No.
They are always children, no matter what age. Our parents always say, even if you are 60, you are still my little girl.
Yeah.
So children don't change. The father might be gone. There are some fathers, they are alive, but they are as good as dead. Yes.
That is true.
So the situation, I believe, is still the same, no matter what happens. It's just a conversation.
You know this thing about the boy who was growling at the man in the dinner? One of the other things I worried about was, what if right now he's not saying anything and, the mother is appeasing him and then saying, oh, don't do that.
What is the man doing about the whole situation?
My question is, what if he marries her and then he changes? Because right now he's being calm about the whole growling issue. But what if he's thinking, when I get you, man, I'm gonna squeeze.
Exactly. That is why there should be open conversation about this. Even if the man is not making an effort to get closer to the boy, the mother should initiate that conversation and break the ice. The mother must make an effort if she's really into this relationship. She can't just sit and watch and expect that I will talk to my children. No, she needs to encourage the man to befriend her children. As much as she's talking to her children about it, she needs to also get the friendship between the man and the children going.
Mm-hmm.
It will help a great deal. Because if you growl at dinner table, does that mean that when he comes around they don't exchange pleasantries? Is that what it means? They don't talk at all?
I don't know.
Yes, I think from this instance, there's no relationship between the man and the child. That will make him even more difficult.
Because I think that
the fact that you've been going out with him for 3 years does not mean automatically they should accept that is your man. No. Until you make it official, they won't feel respected. Until you open it up and say, okay, I want you to meet this person. You've been seeing him around. We've never had a conversation. But I think where it is going, we need to have this open conversation. Meet Mrs. So and so. This is our relationship now. And I would like you to be friends. Feel comfortable around him. Talk to him. Ask him questions.
The man to be friend.
Do you get it?
Yeah,
if you don't do that, it will be very, very difficult. And I'm sure the man is also finding it hard. Maybe the children are making it very hard for him to come close. So it is the woman who can initiate and start the process.
Yeah.
So that it can start from somewhere and then get to a certain point. If not, they are not heading anywhere.
I agree. I think what it is, just to recap and to understand what we're talking about, is the topic was, what do you do when you have adult children and you let them know that you are in a relationship and you are just about to get married and they just hit the roof? No, they know the guy.
You shouldn't wait until you are just about getting married.
When you're in a relationship, you should let them know that this could lead.
When you realize once you come to the realization that this could lead to commitment and a lifetime commitment for that matter, you should make sure that your children are in a position that
they can
expect that, okay, so
this is gonna happen at any time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't just wait until the last minute and then you pull a surprise on them and you expect them to go, no
surprises.
Because you are tampering with their security, you are tampering with their trust, you are tampering with the relationship between you and them.
Yes. And also,
and if you leave it to the last minute, they'll feel very disrespected. They'll feel like
abandoned.
You don't care about us after all. You only So it's
Henrietta. Oh my God! We've done the hour. You've been with me. This is beautiful, people. This is Henrietta. She's a TV pundit. She is all sorts of things to a TV station. She's one of the hotshot people. She's international. She works in Ghana. She works in the UK. And we she just kept me company on the show, and we've talked beautifully. And the hour has flown. It's like 5 minutes. It's just gone. And we've come to the end of the show, and we have conclusions as well. If you are divorced or widowed and you find yourself in a new relationship, you should involve your children. You and your partner, both male and female, you should involve the children. Each partner, if you have children, they should come together. They need to know each other. And then slowly, you can move on. If you want to get married, you do not shock your children with, we're going to get married in December or 2 months down the line. No, it has to be something that flows, just the same way as it flows with you. They can see that this relationship is changing. It's on another level. if you're going to move house and be all of you together, or even if the children are all grown up and living elsewhere, but you're going to move house, they need to know. Because there is one thing, though, is the house they grew up in, maybe this is where you've lived all the years. You don't want to upset them. You don't want to create this thing where they are unhappy, they are crying. People, I've got this guy who, he was here before I got here, and he wouldn't get up from the seat. And he made my life miserable. Now, I haven't finished speaking, and he's entered the place. I'm not mentioning your name.
You know my name, so you can't say this guy.
You are this guy.
Remember, you're talking about relationship.
You are.
We have a relationship. You and I have a relationship.
This man is a distant.
You and I have a relationship, so you should know.
We have no relationship out there. Anyway, my people, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for listening. I've seen all of you on there. I'm very, very happy that you have joined us on the show. Henrietta, you want to give a last word before I play the music?
No, all I can tell your listeners is that they should keep listening. And the woman, I think maybe she should hold on to the marriage and get this thing resolved.
And hold on to the relationship and get
hold on to the relationship.
Get it resolved.
Get it resolved. Get it on the right foot before she heads into something that will make life unbearable for both herself, her partner, and the children.
And God the distant.
God bless you for saying something for me. This country, relationship.
It doesn't favor men.
The country itself is for women.
The country is not for women. The country is for men.
Tiki, you are a woman, so you will say that. But listen, the day I'll get a chance to hold a talk show with you, when we talk about relationship in this country, you'll be amazed.
At the things you're going to tell me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for you. You want to come next week?
You'll be amazed.
You want to come next week?
The number of people who still ask me, oh, are you not doing the youth program anymore? I said, no. Those days it was fun. It was
so you want to come next week?
It's the
because
time.
I'm ready for you.
It's the time. There's so much going on though.
Bye,
it's good sometimes you guys talk about stuff like this.
I have 1 hour. Very soon I'll be having 2 hours and we can thrash issues more. And I'm going to get this guy. This